So on February 13th, 2017, in Delphi, Indiana, two children, 13 and 14, Abby and Liberty, Abigail, were kidnapped from a bridge and found posed and staged in a crime scene with many signatures. I just want to bring this to your attention like as straightforward as I can so you can start to understand the satanic occultism behind everything that it is that was discovered but not being presented in a court of law, and the way it ties into the gateway of Odinism. So gateway is the very beginning. So you can start with Odinism, but it ties into something more sinister, something more satanic. And this is where even in Western occultism, your main psychopaths, Aleister Crowley, Anton LaVey, they used sex magic, and the stem of the root of sexual magic, of what they would utilize, is Kundalini. It's all, this is why it was somewhat forbidden in the modern culture times and hidden in secrecy, because of the fact that people can't actually grasp this, because it is shit that will send people over the edge. There's been several instances, if you look up in crimes, people talking about how they think they're God, how they think they're this, how they were involved in yoga within Kundalini, and they went and killed somebody, they beheaded somebody, killed 4 people, killed 5 people, and it's something that they talk about, right? Like they believe they're Jesus Christ, and they believe they're this and that. And one of the things is that they're not coming out and fully giving you the background of how this person believes they're this. They're just fucking insane. Do you understand? But the truth is that some of these people are insane, and some of these people have gone over the fucking top with this ideology that they're involved in, that they're practitioners of. So Kundalini is something that is used within Satanism as a black form of a black magic. It's sex magic, but it's the most. It's like, okay, so if you're going to be involved in black magic and sex magic, this Kundalini, regardless if you understand what it is or what it is before you do, it is Kundalini. So, and what Kundalini is you're attempting to release the serpent from the base of your spine throughout the chakras in your spine all the way up into your pineal gland. And how they activate it is through their genitalia and masturbation. And this is a prolonged sexual experience that can take hours and hours and hours, because it's not about gratification of instant relief or ejaculation. It's more about something that is, it's more sinister, okay? But it's more something that is they're attempting to gain within this power and energy of the sex that they're having. That's why this is all hidden, okay? This is why it's not. They are attempting to gain a higher consciousness. So they use this energy within themselves, and they keep their ejaculation, their semen, within their spinal columns, attempting to illuminate it through the chakras in their bodies in order to free the pineal gland, in order to gain a higher sense of God consciousness. These people are fucking insane. You got to realize that. And this is tying into the zodiacal lights of what's known as above, so below, of February 13th, with everything that was happening in the sky, an ancient pagan Roman festival tied into Lupercalia, that's known to tied into with Pan, that Pan actually ties into the Gnostics' belief of this satanic god known as Yaldabaoth, that the Freemasons all worship. So I'm going to show you here real quick. Watch this. This is David McCain's Kundalini practice. Now, he's involved into several of the ideologies within the Freemasons, the satanic satanic side of the sinister aspects of what were found at that crime scene on February 14th and how those girls' bodies were posed. How everything was done with a very specific detail, the way the girls' bodies were left in a combination of the duality tree pose of the yoga that would be utilized within all of this, the modalities and offerings that David has within his ideology is tied into this yoga of the tree pose where the girls would be a combination of. So if you take a look at this, this is a combination of the way both girls would have been left combined together. This is a part of duality. So within the construct of their ideology, they believe in order to merge, right? That's what they're attempting to do with this higher state of consciousness. So this is actually something that was left as a symbol that can be deciphered like as it's extremely disturbing, first of all, but if then you take a look at the way these two bodies are positioned, it is very similar to the way, almost identical into the way the girls' bodies were left because of the ideology behind what it is that they believed with this fallen angel and within the deity that's supposed to rise up from the bottomless pit in order to liberate what it is they believe that they've been confined in this physical realm, right? Like I said, it's pretty much out there stuff, but it's also something that's extremely disturbing to think that this is somebody that's involved in this, that was out there that day, that the girls were found in the manners in which it matches what it is they are something involved in practicing in it. So let me just show you here. When you take the tree pose and the way the girls in the crime scene were and all of this kundalini sex magic, you start to understand that, you know, even Aleister Crowley and Anton LaVey were heavy. This is where it starts with it like being leaked into secret sects and secret societies and occultism, because they pick up on it and they start their own little groups, their own little cults. And it's not that they created it, it's just that it's something that they figured out, they became involved in, and you can see that all of the destruction that those people have created, that they're still not really willing to actually talk about what it is like they were actually doing, right? You know, that's where we're at with this right here. We're getting an inside look of what it was they were doing in these sex ritual ceremonies. And this is just as disturbing as it is as you know, PG-13 as you can get about figuring out what it was they were actually doing before you get into the facts of where it turns into more of a R-rated stuff. Like they may have been drinking the blood, they may have been consuming the blood, they most likely were. This is what it was all tied into with the energy of I don't know how deep I want to get because it's extremely graphic. It's extremely disturbing, right? And I'm kind of I've always battled with it because since I've discovered out what it is that they're involved in, it's nothing but disturbing because you start to understand that you're living amongst psychopaths, monsters that believe that if they've gotten away with this, they're still most likely involved in this. And today, right, is another one of these big numerology dates in the calendar because of the way everything's lining up with the with the moon tonight. So yeah, hopefully everybody's okay tonight and nothing crazy. But you know, that's where you should be not having to worry, because these people should have been caught for all of this information, all of this criminal activity that they were involved in, what it is, what their behaviors, what's their hobbies, what's their ideologies, what are they practitioners of, what's their religions. When you start to figure it out, that David McCain was one of the people that was heavily involved into his Kundalini sex magic. Well, that's what it is. You know, they can call it yoga, but how do you activate that pineal gland? And if you start to read into his memoirs there, or whatever the fuck, his transcripts, pardon me, you'll start to see that what he's talking about is all based within practitioner of being a practitioner of the sexual side of Kundalini, because that's what fucking Kundalini is. You know, it's a sexual thing. And then after the murders, the first thing he does is he goes to the school. So you have somebody that's involved into this type of shit, into sex magic, that even Anton LaVey, you know, and Aleister Crowley were heavily involved in. And this guy's involved in it, but the thing is he's put a little pretty bow on top of it, and he's made a presentation of it to where it's not so dark, right? Because it's all subliminal. And what was it that was at that crime scene? Everything was so subliminal, right? This is a guy that was raised around killing animals, posing them with his brother for weeks at a time until his mom made him get rid of them, because they would keep them. And they would put them in a room and have them on an exhibit for their friends and their family members to see. And then when they would start stinking, their mom would say, get rid of them. Then they would go kill more animals, bring them home, and start the process over again. And this is the person named David McCain, flannel shirt guy, that nobody wants to talk about.